economy today. Security tokens are really replacing the traditional ICO. And the concept is you issue a security on the blockchain, and that affords the ability to do a number of things. Number one, you can wrap that in a smart contract, you can issue a security, you can issue debt, you can issue voting rights all on the blockchain and have that managed by the system. And that attracts professional investors because they have certainty that what their rights are related to that are coded into the blockchain as well. And then after some time, if you hold it for about 12 months or so, or sometimes less, you're able to transfer that very easily peer-to-peer or through an exchange. So ease of transfer has become a key value proposition, if you will, of security tokens. The second is focused around certainty around how well the investment opportunity, especially when you're looking at professional investors, has been vetted. All right? So if you're investing in a security, you know that there's been proper legal review, documentation, due diligence done on the company, which should reduce the overall fraud that's been tied to traditional ICOs. So that's the second value proposition, if you will, of security tokens. And then the third is really focused around, I think, something that's pretty exciting. If you look at a typical project, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've founded several companies, and building companies are very local projects. You attract local investors, you build local employees, and the focus of your customer focus initially is local, and so your scope of people that are coming into the ecosystem now. So, green power, blockchain computing. Green power and blockchain computing. What if we could bring those two things together in a whole integrated whole? I think we could create something pretty unique. What if we could do it in a profitable way? What if we could do it in a way that provides computing to the blockchain ecosystem, but also provides integrated power to the places where we develop this energy? And what if we could do this in a way using a business model that can be replicated around the world? Now that would be pretty powerful. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing at Soluna. We're going to be building for the first time the world's first vertically integrated blockchain computing company that will provide infrastructure for the future blockchain ecosystem. So let's talk about that. How do we do that? The first thing we have to do is build an energy site. But not just any energy site. We have to build an energy site that is a utility scale energy site. And I'm going to talk about what utility scale means in a minute. The next thing we have to do is combine that with specialized computing specifically designed for the blockchain. That means mining equipment. It also means specific equipment that is geared towards specific application networks. It really means a uniquely designed data center for these applications. And if you can do this inside one company, you can open up the door to a very unique business model. Let me walk you through that. The first is today's largest digital asset networks are cryptocurrency networks. No matter what you want to say about cryptocurrency, and there are skeptics, there are folks who think these could transform the world. The point is that most of the value in the blockchain ecosystem today is on these networks. And so our goal is to contribute that computing to these mining applications to generate revenue so that we continue to build out that energy site. The second, as I mentioned, is looking at these new blockchain applications. As I said, there are going to be sites, we've already seen some of those start to develop, where you're looking at decentralized computing platforms, decentralized storage platforms, decentralized identity management systems that are going to need global nodes around the world to really power those things. And I think it's really important for folks to understand when you look at these exciting projects that are focused on building a network, it's really hard to build a network. To build a network, you need nodes that are spread around the world, and you need a scalable network platform to attract the customers that are going to use that application, and you need that application to scale over time. And our goal is to provide that huge computing capability to those networks. And the third thing you need to be able to understand is if you're going to make this vertical integration strategy work, you need a business model that contributes the energy in the place where that energy is developed. And so 3 sources of revenue in one place in a vertical integrated stack creates a very unique approach to energy development and blockchain computing infrastructure that's never been done before. And that's the strategy that we're going to approach. Now, let's talk about how we're going to finance this. So the reason I touched on security tokens earlier is because we're going to use a security token approach to finance this project. So fiat and crypto will be raised, so we will be raising money. We will that will be contributed to a security token we're calling Everwind, pun intended there. And then we're going to take that investment capital and develop this infrastructure. And that infrastructure will develop revenue or generate revenue like we talked about through those three approaches. And a percentage of the profits of that revenue will be sent to the token on a quarterly basis. So effectively what we've done is we've used this new innovation in the blockchain, security tokens, to develop a digital asset-backed security. Essentially, the assets generate revenue into perpetuity, and the holder of those tokens gain value in that. And that will attract professional investors that are interested in renewable energy development on a global basis, investors that are interested in supporting the development of the blockchain, and ultimately investors that want to see both of those ecosystems grow over time. Now, let's talk about what I mean by utility scale. So I actually attended the VIP reception last night in the state room. If you didn't make it, I'm very sorry. It was really cool. They said dress to impress, and people really did. And so, you know, you're having a pleasant conversation, and of course people say, well, what are you doing? And I says, well, I'm building this, you know, this vertically integrated company, and there was one person I was doing that along the way as I was drinking the Prosecco, which, by the way, did everybody have the Prosecco last night? I had like the biggest headache after, so I'm talking to folks about this project, and I say, look, you know, it's going to be utility scale. And I said, I get it. What's it going to be, like 12 megawatts? I said, no, it's going to be utility scale. No, what are you going to do, like up in Rockport? Yeah, there's a lot of wind up there in Rockport, Massachusetts. Like I'm from New York. What do you got, like 50 megawatts? So let me put utility scale in perspective. The first thing you have to do, like I said, is to start with a large site. So we're going to start with a 37,000 acre site. To give you some perspective, 37,000 acres is equivalent to 2 times the size of Manhattan. The second thing we're going to do is use that site to generate a tremendous amount of energy. And so we're not building 12 megawatts, we're building 900 megawatts of power, almost a gigawatt of power that will be used to build out this infrastructure site. Once you have that power, we're going to combine that power in the same location with a farm of specialized computing, specifically designed to synchronize itself with the amount of energy that's produced by the wind site, which ultimately allows us to generate over 4 million terahashes of computing power that we can put to different blockchain applications, starting with cryptocurrencies, but then evolving over time. Let me let that sink in for a second. Utility scale means doing things on a grand scale, okay? We are going to do this over a course of time through different phases, and it represents over $2 to $3 billion of investment that we will make in the African continent. We're going to do this in the Kingdom of Morocco. And that was the other question I got last night. Where are you going to do this? When I told 900, they're like, what country are you going to do that in? Where are you going to find 900 megawatts of power? Well, we're actually going to do that in Morocco, in the southern part of Morocco, which is better known as the kite surfing capital of the world. Have you guys ever been kite surfing? Anybody been kite surfing here? Any kite surfing masters here? Yeah, I've never done it myself. So there was one person. So I didn't really understand what kite surfing was until I went to this part of the country. And literally, we were there this past summer visiting our site, and you can actually see some great video footage on our YouTube channel, Soluna Blockchain on YouTube. And you'll see us sort of walking through the site and getting blown all over the place. You'll also see these kite surfers. We were on the site, and literally, we go to the beach, we see these folks, and they just get blown into the air, like disappear. And you got to be really strong to like hold this stuff. That's how windy it is down there. In fact, wind travels at over 23 miles an hour continuously year-round in this place. And so we are going to use and harness the power of that wind to build out this site. We're also going to invest considerably in the local region, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But fundamentally speaking, this is going to be a great opportunity for us. The other thing is, the other reason we're doing it in Morocco is because Morocco is probably one of the most energy-forward countries in the world. One of the largest solar sites is built in Morocco. The country has a national plan to generate over 52% of its electricity from renewable sources by 2032. So they're very energy focused, and we were there this summer meeting with some of the senior ministers, and it's pretty clear that a project like this is very strategic to them as a country. Now, what did I just say? I said a lot of things. I'm pretty excited about this stuff. What I said was, number one, we found a way to create more green power for the blockchain. And I think this will be a way to help solve this major energy issue that we have with the blockchain, which will remove the impediment for us to accelerate the innovation that we're making in the blockchain and going forward. The second thing I said was, we found a new business model for generating renewable energy. Think about all the different parts of the world, and we actually have an almanac of all the places where there's incredible wind resources. So I'm going to leave you with a short introduction or visualization of the site that our Moroccan team has put together. I would encourage you guys to come visit us. We're in booth 419. We also have lots of content on our website, soluna.io, where you can learn more about our project. And if there's any way you can help us make this a reality, we'd love to hear it. Thank you for your time.